Hello everyone, it's me, the People's Union of Wales, and today I'm here with Deputy Secretary Lloyd, and today we
Hello.
will and today we will be discussing about economic development and places in Wales that are in dire need of economic development. So, do you want to
Yeah,
start us off?
it'll be fun. Um, fucking yeah, why not? Well, there's your ads gone, but um, back to the point. I think the areas that need more economic development, specifically more in the infrastructure category of things, is more the more like up north, more rural areas, like anywhere except Cardiff and the surrounding areas and Swansea and that areas that already get tons of fucking economic development as is. They should. I think we should be funding more. Industry in towns that have kind of been destroyed by the closing of the mines and stuff, like Wrexham, Ebbw to name a couple.
Yeah. We need to revitalise industries and the industrial sector, like factories and
Yeah,
mines. We also need to fix Wales's roads, especially in the northern part. More specifically, Wrexham.
exactly.
I hate the Wrexham
Well,
roads. They're awful.
same. It's like they've all got landmines in
It looks like the Somme. Like
them.
genuinely though, it's you've seen better roads in Afghanistan.
Yeah, it's comparable to Somalia, really.
Right, so what else is there to talk about? We can talk about the homeless epidemic.
The homeless epidemic, of
The
course.
homeless epidemic.
Well, I believe the opening of the mines and other big industry, I believe that could help. It would create jobs and that could help quell homelessness, obviously,
Yeah.
as well as telling landlords to fuck off.
That was personal.
It's not personal, but
It's just business.
it's just business.
Yeah. About the
But yeah,
homeless people, I've got some statistics on according to the OGL of February 2020. There was 1.3 homeless people per 10,000. So that's a 17+% increase since what was it, 2019? Yeah, 2019. And
bullshit.
yeah, and there's also 4.4%. Well, 4.4% of the population are actually jobless as well. And that's according to
No way.
Statistica.com from December 2020. So that's fun, and it sort of goes.
That
It's
is
sort of
fun.
yeah, it's sort of a circular thing. If we reopen mines and our old industries like the mines, we can put these homeless people in these positions, be it physical labor or technical labor, because there are some, especially when it comes to post-Soviet Russia. There's like people, well, even in America actually, there's people with like master degrees in like selling themselves on the streets. You know what I mean? Like, and especially when
Yeah,
it comes to
true.
actually paying for the funds to get that get those things that they have.
True.
Anyhow, uh,
Another another
oh,
another thing.
you
Sorry, carry on.
no, you carry on.
Another thing I think could quell homelessness would be, funding the military. Encourage more people to join.
Yeah,
Because at the minute, was it the Welsh Regiment of the military? That's pretty many.
yeah,
So, an independent Wales would have obviously a much larger military.
yeah. I mean, we do have like what's the population statistics now? It's like 3.5 million, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. Um.
I know it's more than Mongolia.
Yeah. Wait, isn't more? Wait, we have more population than Mongolia.
Yeah, like no one lives in Mongolia.
Well, I mean, yeah,
It's
nobody
mainly
does,
horses.
but you know.
Oh, we're mainly sheep.
Anyway, back to the points. Many of the arguments that are used against Welsh independence are like GDP and things like that, aren't they? And the economy. And I'm not jumping onto why Wales should be independent. I'm just going to be jumping on the thing of if Wales was independent, how would we revitalise the economy? Mm.
Hmm.
Because
Well,
Wales
as
has
I explained.
Well, Wales had, according to the Office of National Statistics, Wales has had a 0.4% GDP rise since 2019, is it? No, 2018.
Ooh,
So it's not a lot, but it's good enough. Like the reason
it
why,
is,
yeah,
and considering we get not way less funding than we should be from Westminster, then
yeah,
it's not bad.
yeah. If you were given enough money from Westminster, we'd be able to fix a lot of issues that Wales had, like access to services,
Homelessness.
especially within like the more rural areas of Wales. If you go on the ONS website and you have a good look around, you can see that the majority of people who don't have access to services are usually around the more rural areas. Like it was in Cuba as well. Like um, who's the guy called again? Michael Parenti, right? When he went to Cuba and started asking Cubans, well, the Cubans were talking about the fact that the reason why they liked the Castro government was because they made a bunch of hospitals in the smaller areas, the more rural communities. So you no longer need to like take a person over like 5 miles away to get into the hospital. You can just go up to the routine clinic just up the road.
Base.
Yeah. So
I think we could do something like that. Develop stuff like hospitals and more services in rural areas and not just like fucking Cardiff.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
Swansea if you.
There should be more economic development in more rural areas. I'm not talking about like
True.
opening up a couple of shops or something. I think there should be like more um opportunities there for industry. Like you can make more farms there. You can make mines, factory. Well, even like a small little factory there. We could also build up the roads there. Even though like rural Wales does have some decent roads, especially when it comes to going outside of Wrexham. Like Jesus Christ, Wrexham roads are horrible. Anything
I
above,
know.
yeah, all the roads above Wrexham are absolutely dreadful.
Exactly.
Like as soon as you reach the Wrexham border, it's like your car
They look.
flies up and down.
They all got bombed by Biden
Yeah, they all got bombed by Biden.
and Trump and Bush and Obama. Both of the Bushes.
The Wrexham roads were an inside job. Yes. So when it comes to economic development, I think the majority of the reasons why Wales is a lot more poorer is because of not logistics and not being able to get enough services. Like we said before, in the more rural areas like Gwynedd, there isn't much access to services for more small areas. If you get what I mean.
So yeah, definitely need to work on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else can we talk about?
Hmm.
We could talk about
Well,
key areas that need development.
well, I'd say areas such as Wrexham, Gwynedd, Anglesey.
Yeah. If I was gonna say that an area that needs major economic development, it would be Anglesey, Gwynedd, and Ceredigion. Like places like those, they do need heavy amounts of economic development.
True.
Yeah.
Because I'm
But
pretty sure a lot of those places
Wrexham,
they're mainly like tourist towns, if you get me.
yeah.
And I think these towns could be quite a bit more than that.
Yeah. Also about like more industrial areas like Wrexham and Seed Flint, places like those, they also need a lot of economic development as well. Even though like Wrexham has one of the biggest industrial estates in Europe, it still does need some sort of economic development because
True. Especially on the high
throughout,
street.
yeah, Wales has lost a lot of its industry, and it lost a lot of jobs as well. I know Wales isn't. I know not Wales. Sorry, Wrexham isn't one of the biggest homeless populations in Wales. That actually goes down to the more southern areas. There's more homeless people. More homeless density in those areas.
True.
Mm.
I mean, I think all those areas they did suffer a lot after the Thatchered the mines.
Yes. Um, Actually, if you have a look on homelessness in the UK, since there was a massive decrease with Thatcher. Well, before Thatcher, actually homelessness and joblessness was going down, and so even though inflation was quite high, because there was the I forgot what the crisis was called then, but there was a crisis happening back then. I think it was an economic crisis. I don't remember. But when Thatcher got in charge with the what she did to the mines, joblessness rose dramatically. I know.
Yeah, and poverty,
Yeah.
unemployment.
So, and inflation was going down as well, actually. But, that's a story for a different day. The point is that areas that have been affected by Thatcher's economic policies have had dramatic, it has had dramatic consequences.
True.
True.
They can still be seen today. The proof is right there.
Mm.
In towns like Wrexham.
Yeah, in towns like Wrexham as well. But there's also places like if you even if you like do the most basic research, like even look on some like websites that or some tabloid news places, even they will tell you that like the more economically poor places in Wales are usually the ones that have had massive mining industries, like the Rhondda. Like the Rhondda's had like huge mines, and after Thatcher's closing of them and the strikes and everything, it all went to shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, so in the future we do need to revitalise these areas. It's not that these mines and all ran out of ran out of things to mine. It's because, well, really, I don't know why Thatcher decided to close down the mines. It's not an economy thing because it actually.
Economic modernization, apparently.
Oh, really?
Fucking probably.
They'd probably use something like, oh, guess what, guys? We're now post-industrialist. We're getting our coal from the third world now. Quickly, guys, quickly.
Exactly.
Yeah, we call us.
It's common sense. It's way better to use Chinese children than our people who need the fucking jobs.
Yeah. Like, we do exploit these countries, but without getting off track of who's exploiting who, we need to more look at how we can improve our own economy through our own means.
True. I think on the topic of modernization, I think more like a technological sector could be developed.
Yeah.
For example, some more like computerist jobs, if you get me.
Yeah. Yeah. This also goes for like schools as well, doesn't it? Like
So teaching IT in schools.
Yeah. Let's say Wales eventually either does a revolution or a vote. It doesn't matter, right? As long as it gets independent and it is a socialist state, Wales will need to do a lot when it comes to education, like what the Soviets and the Cubans did, because after the revolution they lost a lot of great minds. Like they lost they lost a lot of scientists, doctors, military technicians, that sort of thing. And all those that did remain in the Soviet Union, well, the now Soviet Union, or Cuba, or whatever you want to call it, or doesn't matter which country, as long as it was a socialist at one point, they had to have that's where all the commissars came in. They were supposed to keep an eye on these, what the Soviets like to call them, bourgeois specialists. They specialize in like things like industries, the economy, and things like that. But they needed to keep an eye on them so they didn't go and absolutely destroy everything. Like, send a bunch of money to the Caribbean islands or something like that where they live and then run out of the country.
That's definitely something they do. Best to keep an eye on them.
Yeah, you get the point. I'm gonna itch on my back, sorry. Yeah, Wales does need a lot of specialists. Like, I remember I think it was Hakeem that said it. If you really want to contribute to Marxism, you need to really, if you really want to contribute to a Marxist revolution or something like that, begin researching even like the basic things, like basic military knowledge or basic medical experience. As long as you have those things, you can help the revolution in a major way. Revolution or elections.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, if you're good at something, you're welcome.
Yeah. So, what else can we talk about? We can talk about forms of transportation like railways and things like that.
Of course, I think we definitely need to develop railways more because where's that railway map I found? Yeah, there was a lot of railways like around the Cardiff, Swansea, Newport Triangle area, but like a lot of the areas like in North Wales or in Mid Wales, it's just like nothing.
Mm. Yeah, I
So
think we should have like major railway areas, and we should have more we should divide the railways. If Wales becomes independent, I think there should be like two systems of the railway. There should be one where it does railways around cities and villages and things like that, like more of a how can I put this, commercial, not commercial, like civilian type of railway. And you should have more, yeah, you should have one for more industrial things like moving steel around, or coal, or hell, even moving soldiers around. Point is, you have one that's used for the people, by the people, but paid for by the government. And you should have one that's just moving the things that the people need around, like food and things like that.
exactly.
Mm. And I hate to beat a dead horse, but I think we should start talking about roads again.
I like roads. Roads are fun.
Roads are very fun. I
Yeah,
uh,
we definitely need to develop those.
Yeah, especially in places like Wrexham, as I said before, the roads are practically disintegrating around you, and
Pretty much.
yeah,
And a
pretty
lot of the
much.
roads in like the more rural areas, like they're pretty much dirt roads, and they can fit like one car.
Yeah, even like recently, there was a hole in the industrial estate, and we had to get our car fixed because we got absolutely ruined one of the tires. Because
Oh yeah,
there's like a massive nail. Well, it was like a massive screw type thing went straight through it because it was facing upwards.
damn,
Yeah, so that was fun.
that is fun.
Yeah, we didn't have the car for like a couple of days. I'm glad it is actually very lucky that we managed to fix it that quickly.
Lucky indeed.
Yeah, very lucky. But I remember actually when. Do you remember where? Well, where if you don't know what we mean, viewer, where me and Lloyd live, we live next to each other. So where we live, there is a roundabout next to the main road, and for like, wasn't it for like months, even years, I think, but there was like massive potholes there.
Oh yeah,
Like you had to swerve out of the way, so you couldn't.
yeah. That was definitely an interesting roundabout.
Yeah, that was an interesting roundabout. And actually, more closer to where I live, there's like um behind where behind my houses, there's a little building area, right? And behind it, there's a little road that goes behind it, right? That leads up to a school, which normally everyone takes, and it is
Mm.
awful. It hasn't been it hasn't been maintained in ages. I don't remember a time when it was, repaved. But then again, it's more of a rural path than anything else. Even though it's in the middle of the town, it's not used that often.
Yeah,
Mm.
still, it's on the road to a school, so obviously parents were taking their kids there. So
Yeah.
yeah, you don't want to crash the car with kids in there. Actually, you don't want to crash your car full stop, and that's why we should be developing roads.
Yeah. Even in the more middle class communities where I live, the roads aren't very well maintained either.
Nah, and usually the Tories really only care about the middle class and upper class, but apparently not in Wrexham.
Mm,
They just don't care about Wales full stop, and
yeah.
that's why we want independence.
Mm. So have we exhausted all our talking points?
I do believe we have.
Alright then, thank you for watching everyone. I hope this
Me as
video
well.
wasn't too boring for you, or too quick. See you in the next one, and bye.